All right, guys, how's it going? Now, before I get into this video, I just want to let you know that I'll be live on here this evening at 6:30 p.m. UK time. So if you want to come along and discuss, tonight's match or just anything to do with Liverpool Football Club, I'll be live on here from 6:30. Now, last night, I uploaded a video about Marc Guehi, and it was in relation to an article that had been published in the Mirror newspaper, or it was certainly on their website. I don't know if it appeared in the print edition. Which was creating a bit of a stir yesterday, but we addressed it. Now, in the comments to that video, some of you said, Marc Guehi has reiterated his intentions to sign for Liverpool. And I thought, well, that's a little bit strange, that a player would comment on that at the moment. And why do I not know about it? So basically, I did a bit of digging and I found this article here, which I'm going to go over with you. Now, I'm going to go over this article with you. I can't read it all to you. You're not supposed to do that. But, I can, leave out bits or whatever and just pick out the bits that might be interesting. And then I'll get Dave to analyse it for you. Dave is my AI assistant that's been trained to analyse football news articles, the journalists that write them, and the websites and newspapers that publish them. And when I say train Dave, I have never influenced Dave one way or the other and said, you need to say this about that journalist. I've done it live before with you guys, and Dave has said, no, this is my own opinion. So I find it amazing that he comes up with his own opinions of these different journalists and whatnot. And Dave also keeps a log of every single journalist as well, so that we have stacks of data when we can check to see if that journalist ever said it before, or if they're flip-flopping and changing, which proved very valuable with the Newcastle United journalists during the Isak saga. Now, it's not an exclusive by any means. I mean, even if it said exclusive, it wouldn't be an exclusive by any means. It's published on Give Me Strength at GiveMeSport.com. It's by someone called Danny Rust. And the headline is world-class star very willing to join Liverpool in 2026. And that world-class star is Marc Guehi, right? So we're going to take a complete look at this. Now, intro, what the article is about. This Give Me Sport piece by Danny Rust is built entirely around quotes from Ben Jacobs. The headline promises that Marc Guehi is very willing to join Liverpool in 2026, and the article fleshes that out with context about Liverpool's previous interest in him, Crystal Palace pulling out of a late deal, and Liverpool's future transfer plans. In reality, it's Jacobs recycling what Paul Joyce has already said. Liverpool aren't going to panic buy Guehi in January, but they could revisit in the summer. Now, yesterday's article about Marc Guehi, if you're a Liverpool fan, was quite negative. It was suggesting that he's, instructed or informed his agents that he only wants to play for Liverpool. But that doesn't mean then that you then jump on this and go, no, look, he wants to play for Liverpool. The two articles shouldn't work together, right? So, and that's why I think people were quoting this one yesterday to me saying, he's reiterated he wants to stay. Well, I'm going to be honest with you before I get into all of this with you. The article last night was a load of shite, and this is a load of shite as well, as you will soon find out. So both can be dismissed, to be honest with you, I think. So the full article, okay, world-class star, very willing to join Liverpool in 2026 by Danny Rust, Give Me Sport. I'll give you a few snippets from it. Liverpool have been handed a significant boost as Marc Guehi is still eager to seal a switch to Anfield when he leaves domestic counterparts Crystal Palace as a free agent next summer. Give Me Sport senior football correspondent, not just any football correspondent, but senior football correspondent, Ben Jacobs has revealed. Now, it goes on here to talk about what Arne Slot has splashed, money-wise on reinforcements during the summer, and what his plans are, in terms of, and plans are in place to bolster the squad when further opportunities arrive. There's then some bold text, like a sub-headline. Guehi has sights set on joining reigning champions. Very positive, right? So I want to see some quotes in here. Guehi has remained keen to join Liverpool after coming close to joining in the summer. According to Jacobs, he remains keen, but he will have to wait until the end of the season, as the reigning Premier League champions are not planning to negotiate a fee during the winter window. The respected journalist, fuck off, told GMS, right, so this is the only quote, right, so there's no quotes here from Marc Guehi reiterating his intentions to sign for Liverpool or anything. There's been various claims made throughout this article that he's very willing to join. So I would like to have seen some interesting quotes that back that up. What I'm getting is Ben Jacobs, and this is his quote. They will likely add another centre-back and perhaps a more senior one like Guehi come the summer. If Liverpool move for Guehi on a free transfer, especially if Ibrahima Konate departs for Real Madrid, I think the Crystal Palace captain would be very keen and still very willing to join, as he was during the last window. But I don't expect Liverpool to try and panic buy Guehi in January. I think that has been ruled out at the moment. That's the end of the quote. And I can tell you right now, that's the only quote in this article. The article goes on to say he was on the verge of embarking on a fresh challenge at Liverpool and talks about how Palace pulled the plug on the deal. It goes on to say that he's been described as world class, which is how they've managed to justify putting world class in the headline, because if you look, it doesn't say Marc Guehi anywhere. So that's classic clickbait, right? Because it's not them, saying that he's world class. Someone has quoted him as world class before. He says he's remained one of the first names on the team sheet and retained the captain's armband at Selhurst Park, despite, that potential exit to Liverpool during the summer. It goes on about his contract, blah, blah, blah. That is it. That is the entire article. To be honest with you, yeah, I've left bits out, but trust me, there was nothing in those. So the entire article is just that one quote from Ben Jacobs. Okay? Now, excuse me, let's see what Dave has got to say about it. I love Dave's analysis. So, the Outlook reputation, GiveMeSport. They churn out content at high volume, mostly SEO, search engine optimization, driven transfer chatter. Their exclusives are notorious for being flimsy. They rely on names like Jacobs to give their pieces some weight, but they're seen as a click farm more than a reputable news source. Now, the author reputation, Danny Rust, a standard content writer for GMS, doesn't break news, just packages quotes and existing stories into fresh articles. Ben Jacobs' reputation, this is who the entire article is based around, right? Ben Jacobs, a step above GMS in that he has contacts and does TV work, but his exclusives are usually cautious. Hedges full of likely, expect, perhaps, could. He's been mocked as Romano Light. In this case, he's basically paraphrasing Paul Joyce's stance from weeks ago, that Liverpool won't panic buy in January, but may look again in the summer. Now, headline versus content. So the headline is world-class star very willing to join Liverpool in 2026. The actual content, Jacob thinks Guehi would still be keen if Liverpool move for him and that a summer deal is more realistic. The verdict? It's clickbait. Very willing makes it sound like Guehi sat at home in a Liverpool shirt waiting for the phone call. In reality, it's Jacobs hedging. I think, perhaps, likely. So holes and get-out clauses in articles, something I always look for, guys, especially with exclusives. This isn't an exclusive. I always look for the get-outs, all right? Even if it's a social media post where someone's claiming to be ITK in the know, I always look for the get-outs. Are there any get-outs in here? Let's have a look. Likely add another centre-back. Perhaps a more senior one. If Liverpool move for Guehi, I think Guehi would be very keen. I don't expect Liverpool to panic buy. I think that has been ruled out. This is the classic Jacobs playbook. Everything couched in vague, non-committal phrasing. And you can see why I don't listen to Ben Jacobs. I would never listen. Ben Jacobs could publish an exclusive now, telling me that a player was signed, and I wouldn't even like bat an eyelid. It's just non-committal, vague phrasing, as Dave is indicating here. Any new news in this article? Because this is important, right? Because people were using this as an example yesterday in my comment section, right? So is there actually any new news in this article? Some people want to believe that Marc Guehi is like reiterating that he wants to sign for Liverpool. There's no quotes in here from Guehi. Even Ben Jacobs isn't saying that. He's saying, well, I think, right? But is there any new news? No. Joyce already reported that Liverpool won't move in January. This is just Jacobs repeating that with extra waffle about Guehi still being keen, right? And even though Joyce has reported that Liverpool won't move in January, that can change, right? Come on, we know this is a game, right? We know this is a game. We know that, if Liverpool had every intention of making a move for him in January, they're not going to admit it. What they're going to do is use someone like Joyce or Ornstein, usually Joyce, to put out the vibe that, no, we're not going to fucking do anything. We're quite happy to wait until the summer. Now, if Liverpool have some injuries or they need, they do need an addition in January, I wouldn't be surprised if they did make a move for him. But you don't put it out there, do you? Yeah, we'll go in January, because that gives his club more power. So you don't, I went, all right, thanks. Thank you very fucking much, all right? So word count, percentage breakdown. These are the things, that I like to see, Dave break down. About 15 to 20% is actually about the headline claim, Guehi being willing. The rest is filler, the Isak recap, Liverpool's spending, contract details, Palace pulling out, the world-class tag, etc. Credibility? Not much. The only new bit is Jacob saying Guehi is still willing, which is basically a rehash of the deadline day situation. Everything else is recycled filler. Blogger bingo. What about the buzzwords and the fluff, guys? World class, tick. Very willing, tick. Has been revealed, tick. The respected journalist, tick. According to Jacobs, tick. Significant boost, tick. Not planning to negotiate, tick. On the verge, tick, tick. Last ditch U-turn, tick. Basically every cliche you'd expect from a transfer piece. Now, Dave's final verdict with this. This isn't journalism. It's reheated leftovers. Danny Rust has taken Jacobs' hedged quotes, stretched them with filler about contracts and Isak, and sold it as if Guehi has personally confirmed he's desperate to join Liverpool. And that's what the headline sounds like, right? Is it newsworthy? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Dave says, barely. Is it worth listening to? Not if you already read Joyce and Ornstein, no. Is it misleading? Yes, the headline suggests a firm commitment from Guehi. The content is just Jacobs saying, I think he'd still be up for it. Purpose? What do you think? Drive clicks, farm ad revenue, SEO bait. In short, this is a nothing new article. You could have guessed all of it as a fan. Jacobs is paid to hedge, Rust is paid to pad, and GMS cash in on the clicks. That, my friends, concludes what Dave thinks and what I think of that article. So, yes, we have the negative article yesterday or the other day, whatever, from the Mirror regarding Guehi apparently wanting Real Madrid now. Not a single fucking mention in today's media, by the way, in Madrid or anywhere else in Spain regarding Marc Guehi. I'll keep an eye on that for you. I check every single day. But just because that was a negative doesn't mean that you want to welcome this. I mean, the headline sounds very good. World-class star, very willing to join Liverpool in 2026. But if you only read the headline, you might think, oh, that's good, then he still wants it. But the reality is, there's nothing in there from Marc Guehi, no sources quoted, no agent says, or anything like that. It is purely Ben Jacobs' opinion. And he's not someone that I'm going to listen to. And let's be honest, he's not even stating, if you think about it, matter of fact, he's not even saying, I can tell you that Marc Guehi will be going to Liverpool. He's not even saying that. Think, perhaps, maybe, ifs, etc., etc., etc. It's embarrassing, to be honest with you. But he gets paid to do it. He gets paid to pad it out. They get the ad revenue. Job's a good one. All right? So if you've heard anyone tell you that Marc Guehi has reiterated his intentions to sign for Liverpool Football Club, whether it's in January or summer next year, it originates from that. And we all know we can dismiss that, all right? So there is no doubt in the world, right, that other teams, other clubs will be interested in Marc Guehi, especially on a free transfer, right? But at the present time, and my opinion may change, well, I still think that Marc Guehi will become a Liverpool player. I said this in the summer and said, whether he moves to us in the summer or not, he will be a Liverpool player, just like I said that about Isak. And I remain confident of that. I think it will happen. You know, we've got someone on the members' website that claims to know, I can't remember the exact words, you'd have to watch last night's video. I did read that comment out, claims to know the family or, you know, someone involved in the whole situation. And, you know, the impression is that Guehi will stay loyal to Liverpool. So right now I'm not concerned. Even if I started to think that he might be, you know, whoring himself to someone else, or they might be doing that, then even then I wouldn't be concerned anyway. I'd just, fuck him then, right? It's that simple. And you've got to remember, Palace are going to be trying to put all sorts of Bible shit out as well, because Liverpool are saying they don't want to go for him in January. Palace need to make out there's other interest, right? But they can do what the fuck they want. You'll see, even if Palace were behind some of the articles, not this, but if they were behind the one yesterday, for example, Liverpool, you might worry, you know, I might go, ooh, what the fuck's that? But the reality is that the agent and Guehi will have communication and dialogue with Liverpool, right? And if Liverpool's interest in Guehi had ended because, you know, the agent was, you know, maybe saying, well, we might look at other things, Paul Joyce will tell us or will allude to it. So right now, there's nothing to be concerned about. I have got some, I think I've got an email for the mail stand about Marc Guehi. It's a few days old. I mentioned it last night. I'm going to look for that. And if I have, I'll read that out today. Additionally, don't forget that an author of one of the mail stand contributions recently that is known to me was explaining that their friend was involved in the Marc Guehi deal, proposed deal to Liverpool as like an intermediary or basically an agent that was, you know, I don't want to say caught up in it. That makes it sound like it was accidental. That they were apparently working on the situation. And from what I understand, their vibe is, no, he still wants to go to Liverpool, right? And I think there might be a bit of that in the mail stand video. So look out for the mail stand video that's coming up next, all right, guys? And I think there's one also regarding Konate too, okay? In terms of the Spanish media, I've read all the Spanish football dailies today for you. There's nothing regarding Konate and nothing regarding Guehi at all. All right, I'll leave that with you. Don't forget I'm live on here at 6:30 tonight. If you found the video interesting, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. I'm going to start giving a Cop Talk VIP membership to the best comment of the day, right? Every day of the week. Every day I do videos. Sorry, I've just had some grapes. And then repeat it a little bit. Look. No sausage rolls, just some grapes. I'm going to start giving away VIP memberships. And it costs 50 quid to be a member of the website, right? For a year. It's not so much a membership fee, it's more of a contribution to people that want to support me. And we've got a lot of people on there. It's where I am during the day. But I know some people don't have 50 quid. And those people that take the time to comment, I want to pick out the comment of the day. And then in the morning briefings the next day on my other YouTube channel, I will pick someone and say, right, X has won a VIP membership. So that's my way of giving something back to you guys that take time to interact with the channel, all right? So thumbs up, comment. You know there's a love out under the video if you want to support my channel. It's called a super thanks. I'm super and I deserve a thanks. It's like buying me a beer or a coffee. Basically, it goes in the kitty. If you don't see it, there are alternative links in the video description. And you can, of course, become a channel member too. That's the people with a football next to them in the comment section. And they're very important people around here. All right, guys. Don't be worrying about anything. I won't pay too much to any of this shit at the moment, to be honest with you. And we'll just see what happens. I'll keep an eye on it for you, all right? Okay, take care.